All right. All right. I hope that worked. All right. You guys come on in. Come on in. I'll give you guys some time to come on in. We were having audio problems, so I had to cut the live. You guys come on in. Come on in. Okay, come on in. All right, maturity. You guys come on in. Okay, Jamila is much better. Okay, great. All right, great. All right, so I just learned something. I can't unplug the mic during, well, because I'm not an audio tech. Okay, anyway, back to you guys. So Holly, I wish you kept the comments. Holly, if you don't mind typing your comments again, you were talking about your 11-year-old son. You don't have to type the whole thing. Just give me one little point and then it'll trigger. But okay, so we're talking about maturity. So maturity in how they take care of themselves, right? That's number one. Number two, maturity in their work. Now, before my son, he's a messy writer, but when he writes slowly, he's a better writer. And sometimes he'll do the bare minimum with answering things, and I would accept it because, you know, he was on track, or I'm like, okay, close is good enough. But now, you know, this past year, I was requiring more detailed responses from him, or making what he wrote a little bit more sophisticated, meaning, you know, add a couple more adjectives, or, you know, make it a compound sentence instead of just a little single sentence. So just raising the bar just a little bit higher. So we want a little bit more maturity in their work, in what they're doing. Now, if your child is older, like in middle school, but they're doing elementary grade work, you can still require just a little bit more, okay? If they're doing math and they're working problems, well, you know, make sure they're going through all the steps, or make sure how they write their stuff is pretty neat, you know, or make what they're doing, make it, say if they use a notebook, make sure they're neat with their notebook so they can easily find their note or their work or whatever they're doing. So whatever capacity they're doing their work in, just require a little bit more out of them, a little bit more of an expectation, okay? If they're reading, ask a little bit more higher order thinking questions. Usually those are your whys and your hows, okay? So you're just doing just a little bit more. Don't bombard them, but just require just a little bit more from their work, okay? And that's going to start to build their maturity level, because now they're being asked to stretch and do a little bit more than what they've been normally doing, okay? Hollyberry, hey girl, you gonna give me that Oscar? Zero attention to detail and can't or doesn't feel like following detailed instructions. Lost cause? Try better with the next two. No, girl. Look, I had those thoughts with my older child, because he would kind of like hum while he was doing stuff, and he'll be all in his own mind. And I'm like, dude, you just didn't read that one question. You totally just skip. You know how men don't read instructions and they just jump right into it? That's what he would do. And then he would be humming the whole time. But it's just little baby bites. I'm like, okay, you got to choose one thing. You can hum, or you can be all in your seat or whatever. But any step you miss here, you're going to have to do more work. So slow it down, bud. Or take their paper and take a marker, a highlighter, a pencil, or whatever. Divide their paper in thirds. Divide their paper and just go. I'm trying to get my highlighter. Bloop, bloop. All right, buddy, let's focus on this, okay? You got it? Or divide the paper like that, okay? If you don't want to draw on it, put some piece of string or fold it. All right, son, let's work this page, or this side, or do it in thirds, okay? Sometimes you just have to break it up and give consequences, because as they're getting older, you know, the beauty with homeschooling is you can kind of do what you want, but you also have to remember you want your children to be able to function in the world, right? They're not going to have the luxury of, if someone asks them something, a boss, an instructor, you know, just someone that's not mom, they're not going to have the luxury of just, oh, well, you know, they're not going to have that. So they need that practice of being able to get it done, right? Without hemming and hawing and doing, you know, shenanigans. You know, they ain't gotta always do it, but they need to know how to do it. You know, y'all sisters and brothers know it's code switching, right? They can have their homeschool style of doing things, but when they're out interacting in some parts of the world, they got to code switch and be able to roll with the program. And so we're just giving them those little skills so they can be able to code switch. You know, what if something happens and your child has to go back to public school? Okay, so they need to know how to code switch from that homeschool life to the public school life. Okay, so it's okay. My kids does that too. Holly. It's a long process of just a little bit at a time, every day if possible, and celebrate those small little victories, and then just keep it moving. Remember, it's a long-term game. You got 6th grade and you got 6 more years until high school. So don't worry about the I know the distraction stuff is crazy. Okay, giant man babies. Yes, I'll start chunking things up for him. Yes, it's chunking. It's called chunking. So just a little bit at a time. Okay, so for maturity, we're talking about the body, all that stuff, getting that together, the work, the quality of the work that they're doing. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to type this in. Is I'm sitting way down. It's independence. Hold on, I got my jammies on. I want to try to see all my stuff. It's independent. Now, if your child is not working independently right now, this is a good time for them to start working independently, because if you got more than one kid, or even if you have an only, but you want your life, being able to have them work on a subject or a couple of subjects back to back with like a little bit of checking with you is really powerful for them, and it's nerve saving for you. It's sanity saving. So you could say start them off with success, their most pleasurable subject or their easiest subject. Start them with that. So if anything goes wrong in the day, they got a win. Start them off with a win. Okay, so start them off with their favorite subject or their easiest subject. You go work with another child, or you go answer emails, or whatever you do to get away, and then have your child check in with you. Okay, when they're, see, here's the thing, my kids, and I'm still a work in progress. My kids start to yell, "Mom, I'm done with this." Look, here comes one right now. Hey, come here, come here, come here. What's up? What do you need? Come say hi to the people. With your hair looking all crazy. Come say hi. This is my middle schooler. Come here with his pajama. This pajama shirt he had on since he was in 4th grade. Come here. Come here. Did you need something?
No, I'm just checking.
You just checking on me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you bring me a glass of water?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, thank you. So, oh, he needs a shower. But anyway, so just, what was I saying? Okay, I forgot what I was saying because my son just, okay. Oh, yeah, so for just getting them to, y'all, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Were y'all listening? What was I saying? So, hold on. Let me take a swig from my hall pass. Y'all take a swig or a snack or a bite from your hall pass. Okay. So, as I try to come back to that. So, we're talking about maturity. Oh, independence. So, just have them like when that, like, okay, oh, I remember. So, my son would yell while I was working with another son, "Hey, Mom, I'm done. You know, I did this, and that." And he would give me a whole breakdown on what he just did, yelling across the house. I'm like, dude, just wait and go do something else. And this goes to the independence. You got to let them know. Once you do this and you're done, you can take a break. Hey, Jackson, you know your whiteboard?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, never mind. It's stuck to your wall.
Oh.
Okay. You know what, guys? I'm going to have to take you on a tour to show you what I'm, all the way, honey. Thank you. I'm going to take you on a tour once my son cleans his room on what a middle schooler, on what our middle schooler room looks like, because I have a whiteboard. It's like a calendar, and he writes down what he needs to get done throughout the week. Now, back in the day, I had a planner, a student planner. My kids hate that. All of my kids hate that. So I told my middle one, the business-minded one, I said, well, create your own business planner. I will help you print it out and we can sell it, and you make some money while you're still using it. So we're trying to get that going. But just get them to the point where they can at least do one subject with good quality work, okay? And so if you're having them do working on a paragraph or some writing, and they need to write, just say 5 sentences, just a 5 sentence paragraph, okay? And they come back with 2, and it's very basic, like 4 words per sentence. Now, if your child is a really struggling writer and that's good for them, you know your child, rock on. But if you know your child doesn't have issues with writing and they just, you know, even if they're weak in writing, you tell them, okay, let's go back and give me some more. Add something to this, okay? Or think about how you can change this or something like that. You just want to pull something out of them. Not only are you getting them to present a better quality of work or more detailed work, you're also getting them used to taking direction and change, right? Because when they're working, whether they're a boss or an employee, they're going to be asked to do something, they do it, and then they're asked to do it again. So you want to get them used to redirection without crumbling and falling apart, okay? We want them to rise to the occasion, make the adjustments, and keep it moving, right? All right, let's see. Any questions? Is it making sense? Yeah, boys do like to, that's not all boys, but my boys do like to rush through their work. Girls too. I find if they don't care about the subject, if they have something else they want to do, it's Speedy Gonzalez through the work. Okay, and I just, it is what it is. And they are satisfied with the minimum. Yes, a lot of times kids don't know how much more to do. You know, it's just, they write it, and you have to get in the mind of a teen or even a younger kid, just a student. They put it out and they don't, okay, this is why I like, oh, I'm so going to do a live on this, on the 6 traits of writing. This is why I love the 6 traits of writing. It takes the subjectivity out of writing and makes it concrete. You see examples of what excellent writing looks like done by children, what average writing looks like, and what poor writing looks like. And after a while, they start seeing, oh, the sentence construction is like this. Oh, this is how, this is a run-on, or not get into the grammar, but you know, they didn't expand these sentences or this and this. They start to see patterns on what makes great writing, good writing, and poor writing. So, oh my gosh, okay, we got, oh, I want to do a workshop on this. So when we're talking about requiring more, having higher expectations for their work, a lot of times they don't know what that looks like. And so we have to give them, though, we have to put it on a platter so they can emulate that. So more on that later. I'm definitely going to do a video on that. Yes, start with a win and independent learning. Okay, next, high school practice. Okay, so I'm doing my do's. Okay, so the first one is work that maturity level with the body, the independence, and expectations, right, for the work. Second, high school practice. You got 3 for the type A OCD people like me. You get 3 years to start thinking about high school, okay? And start going to all the little webinars and conferences, all the free stuff first, and go start joining those forums, high school forums. Keep a notebook. Y'all, look, if y'all saw my notebook, I got a 2-inch notebook, dividers, everything, high school plan. I'm a beast, but I'm an outlier. But look, but see, I'm an information gatherer and I get so much, I have to be able to synthesize it. But for us, just get a notebook, a 1/2-inch binder, get you a Kroger's bag or an Aldi's bag. Just have a central place to start printing out all the information you're going to be getting, or preferably have a notebook and start writing down the things you need to start thinking about for high school. If you have a child who's so inclined, start thinking about national merit scholarships and, programs to get into, whether it's the tag program. Did they still call it tag? I was in tag. I did tag when I was in high school, but I think they switched it up. But like the John Hopkins, all of those gifted programs that help you with preparing you for doing the National Merit Scholar qualifying test. That's more on that later. But now you're starting to learn the lingo, and you're starting to know where the go-to places are. You start finding the moms and dads who are really knowledgeable, and so you follow them, subscribe to their threads. So whenever they put something up, you're in the loop, and then just slowly start building your information, and then start looking at your child. Are they kind of drawn to something? The arts, something mechanical, math, science, nothing. That's information to know. And then you can start thinking about, okay, so for high school, okay, these are maybe some classes that we might be interested to take that will help groom them for after high school. And then you can start thinking of, okay, maybe my son or daughter wants to go off into the military, or maybe they want to go to a STEM college. You don't always know this right off the rip, but if you're starting to think about it, when you start seeing things happening, you're like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Okay. It's like when you're looking for a car, say you're looking for a car and you're in love with a Camry. You have never noticed Camrys before, but now that you're looking for cars, you see Camrys everywhere. Or you ain't been thinking about babies. All of a sudden, your best friend has a baby. Now you see babies everywhere. So once it's on your radar, you start seeing it, okay? Then you start being a little chipmunk, and you just grab those little acorns and then squirrel it away, and then you synthesize that information later, okay? Just don't put it away and let cobwebs get on it. Just look at it, occasionally, so you start kind of soaking in, the information, okay? Let's see. I have worked real hard to get my son to do his work on his own while I teach his sister. End of 6th grade, and he's doing really good. Oh, Jen, I'm so happy to see that. See, guys, there are success stories, right? It just takes some time. If your child's already there, that's great. If they're there sometimes and then not sometimes, totally fine. And if they are like around the corner, behind the bush, under the ground, that's fine. You got to start somewhere. Start tomorrow. Or if your child's going to be in 6th grade in the fall, start over the summer, okay? Just start where you are and just do a little bit at a time, okay? We spent less than an hour reviewing work. His sister is in kindergarten, so it was really necessary to get him to be more independent. A lot of times, y'all, Mother Nature, invention is, oh my God, what's the quote? Invention is the mother. Guys, what's that quote by? Is that Einstein? Mother Nature is necessity is the invention of Mother Nature. A lot of times when you have to get stuff done, you don't have a lot of wiggle room for your kids to, voice their opinion and all that stuff. It's like, we got a boom, 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 boom. We got to do that. So yes, think about that. Okay. Now, what else? Okay. So so high school practice. Now we have the high school practice of, starting to think about what they might be interested in. Also, are they weak in something? And what are they strong in? Now, if they're weak in something, maybe it's writing or math or reading. Now's the time from 6th through 8th. You don't have to rush, because once high school starts, it's the level playing field, okay? You can start shoring up those skills. Maybe take some out school classes for writing. I'm doing that for math with my youngest one, okay? He just needs a little bit more focus and it's just fine. So you think, okay, my child he's kind of weak with reading comprehension, right? And there's a lot of reading in middle school, but definitely in high school. So you wanted to work on that. You know, I'm a big proponent of, if you have the time, put it in with your child. If not, you know, try something online or outsource it, however you want to rock and roll. But I think OutSchool is a great way to shore up skills. A lot of times it's just a different way of doing something, and having a different teacher that makes the difference. And the costs are really, really reasonable. That's something to think about. Maybe your child is weak in fractions. Okay. Let me tell you, OutSchool has fractions, every kind of, my son he's in 2 classes because I do too much math. Because, you know, my whole thing is, I like with Beast Academy, it's not spiral. So I don't want my kids to forget stuff. So I put them in extra classes on OutSchool. So for fractions, it's a 10-week class, and they cover every single kind of fraction done in every single kind of operation. They ain't gonna forget that. So, because I knew my son needed to be, his math skills and fractions needed to be super solid. So that's just something that we did, and his confidence is through the roof. His teacher is cool. He's got cool worksheets and easy peasy. So use that middle school time, and you have time to just, you know, and be honest, y'all. It's not an ego. I just told you, my son who's in 6th grade needs to work on fractions. Put the ego aside. I don't care if your child is weak in regrouping with subtraction and addition. Go find someone, get on Khan, it's free. Let me tell you, I have 2 examples, Marva Collins and the brother in the Inland Empire in California. The brother in the Inland, it's an area in Southern California. He had 6th graders. I think they were 6th graders or 7th graders. I think 6th graders. And they were at the bottom in their test scores at their school. And he put those kids through Khan. He just made it up himself. Khan didn't have this program. He started these kids at kindergarten, and he's got his whole lesson plan too. DM me or send me put a comment in the video to remind me to pull that up, because I want to talk about that. He had them working from kindergarten all the way up to 6th grade, and when they took their state tests, they were above grade level, just a little bit, like a semester. I think a semester ahead. So the first semester of 7th grade. And they were like, "Oh my God, what are you?" He was in the news and everything. They're like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" You know how teachers and administrators and the public school system, how much money did you throw out there? What did you know? They're expecting something big and grand. He was like, "We just got on Khan," and I said, "Started kindergarten." They laughed. "Oh, this is easy." But he said, I noticed by 3rd grade, when they got to the 3rd grade area, they fell apart. So they were all confident and cocky for like the first 2 weeks, because they zoomed through it. And then when 3rd grade hit and those fractions and division, long division, things got shaky. And so he just had them do a little bit at a time. And then they went through it the whole up until 6th grade, took the test in late April, early May, and nailed those tests. Marva Collins did the same thing in 1 school year. So don't worry about, my child's behind. You don't have to be a superstar or a rock star to get your kids up to par. You don't have to do it in a whole school year. Spread it out. That's why I'm saying don't stress. So if your child is a struggling reader, a struggling writer, or weak in math, you just do those baby steps. You know what? Y'all, hold on. I need to do a video on those people that I told you about and how they got their kids up, because y'all need the blueprint. Y'all need the blueprint. Hold on. Let me do my notes right here. Partake in your hall passes while I write this note to do a video. We're going to do a live. It needs to be a live on Martha, and I forget the gentleman's name, but I'm going to show you the lesson plan. Okay. And I wrote the note down. We're gonna do the game plan, because we all need different ways to get to the finish line. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so high school, we're getting them prepped, shoring up their skills, getting their confidence level up. In the meantime, you need to get your skills up. And what's a transcript? How many different kinds of transcripts are there? Which transcript is best for my child? Okay. You got to start doing your due diligence. And depending on what state you're in, you need to start looking at, okay, well, how many credits do I need for my child to graduate, to just go to a regular college, or just to graduate, or go to a competitive 4-year college? Remember, you just taking notes. That's it. Just notes. Don't get overwhelmed. Just jot that back. A lot of times there's a printable out there. You just print it. You just put that bad boy in your folder, divide your folder up 9, 10, 11, 12, and then pre-9th, and then just stick the information in there, okay? And then, you know, you can look at it when it applies to you, okay? Let's see. Progress, not perfection. Yes, baby steps. Okay, this just gave me inspiration. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Kat. Y'all, we can do it. Do you know Google, the company Google, they don't want your college degrees. They have expressly said, we want work experience. So forget your little $120,000 Harvard degree, your $60,000 University of Michigan, Texas, Arizona, private school. They don't care about that. Schools are moving away. They need and want experience. Okay? So your kids, if they're in 6th grade or going to 6th grade, by the time they get to 12th grade and graduate, it's going to be a totally different world. Okay? So don't worry about the wolf on the horizon, because there ain't no wolf out there, and you don't need to worry about it if you got a gun on your shoulders. All right, so not that we're gonna kill the wolf. Okay, so for high school, this is your time to practice looking up transcripts, recording grades. Now, I know how y'all homeschoolers feel about grades. We prepping for high school, because you are going to have grades for high school. You got to turn something in, okay? The state needs to know that you get a degree, right? So, you know, keep up, and this is easy. Excel spreadsheet, write down all the classes they're taking. Especially if they're doing online classes, anything where you're not grading the work, you know, write down all the quizzes, you know, if they're going to have semester exams, anything they get a grade for, and just make a note of it, or take a picture of it, make a folder on your phone or on your laptop, and just take a picture of it, whatever grade they got, and just file it away, however you want to do it. But just get in the habit of recording grades. Right now, it's middle school, it don't matter. But in high school, it will. So if you start doing it now, you'll develop your system. So when 9th grade comes, you be like, girl, I'm gonna hold a workshop. You bring your friends. I'm gonna show y'all how to track grades and do a transcript. You'll become the leader in your area, and people will go to you to help them get their act together. Okay. So we want to do the planning with the grades and the track in the transcripts. We want to do all of that. Okay. And okay, so that's the high school practice part. So number 3. I should be typing this in. Hold on. Number 3. Let me add that one in. I didn't add number 2 in. Sorry. Number 3, is study skills. Okay, study skills. Okay, is that showing? Number 3, add a banner. Add the banner. Oh, it's asking me which one. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, study skills. Okay, so my oldest one, who was in 8th grade, we took a really great, I think I have it over here in the corner. Let me see. We took this online study skills class through the Well-Trained Mind Academy. Hold on, let me just see if I have it right here. Now the study skills, yeah, okay. This is what we did. Don't do this, and don't tell them I did this, but make yourself a couple of copies, okay? So you didn't hear it from me. So, and I just, I have a little book binder that I got from Costco years ago. You just bind that bad boy up or put it in a notebook. Now, hold on, make sure his last name's not in this. Okay. So anyway, you have your study guide, your study skills, and these are good things for your child to know. You don't want to have to teach everything. Look, reading effectively, note-taking strategies, okay? Preparing for quizzes and tests, self-advocacy. Can y'all see all that? Those are good skills to have. Now, OutSchool has lots of study skills, especially over the summer. I know Mr. D Math, he has a study skills class over the summer. A lot of people have that. It just so happens when he took this class the summer before 6th grade, he was going to take, he took their pre-algebra class in 6th grade. So I wanted, okay. He was in 5th grade, and he had taken his first online class, the art of problem solving, which was a disaster. It's a chat-based class. Here's FYI, when you're signing your child up for things, you know, everything's new to you. You don't know middle school, you don't know high school. Make sure you do your due diligence. I didn't. I just signed him up. It was a waste of a year, so we had to repeat pre-algebra in 6th grade. So we did this at Well Trained Mind, but I wanted to sample the class before he took the math class in the fall. So we took this class the summer before that, as I had to do reconnaissance. And guys, it's a good class. It's a lot of work, not a lot of work, but work for your child to do, to fill in. Okay, go ahead, get it, and then make copies for all your kids. Okay, so we want them to practice these study skills. If they do it now in just little bites, like you can just take one subject in here, note-taking, and focus on that for a month, or make that your focus for the semester, even for the whole year. You ain't got to do all of this during 6th grade or 7th or 8th grade. Now, they in 8th grade, you might want to go through the whole thing, you know, just so they have time to kind of get in a rhythm and see what they like, and, you know, they got to figure out what works for them. And you don't want to cram so much, because for high school, you know, you might have higher expectations. Maybe they play sports and there's going to be more demand on them. So if they're in 6th grade, slow boat to China. If they're in 8th grade, Usain Bolt to the finish line. Okay, just saying. All right, so this is also the perfect way, if you do unit studies, to have them work on project management. What do I mean by that? Being able to break down what one of you ladies said earlier about chunking, being able to do bite-sized amounts to finish maybe a research project, or if your child is, you know, interested in something, and this is going to go to my next point, but if they're doing something long-term, maybe they're taking an online class for the first time, and there's a test, you know, a semester test at the end, you know, things that they would do in a public school. You can sit down with them and say, okay, let's knock this out. Open up what they have for that year and say, okay, you have 4 tests this semester, 3 quizzes, and then your assignments. Okay, let's look at what we have to do. Okay, we got to read 20 pages a week. Okay, well, from Monday through Friday, we're going to do 4 pages today, 2 pages tomorrow because you have a soccer practice, and then the next day, until the whole week adds up to 20 pages of work read. And you'll do that for all other classes where there's, like, you know, especially there's a grade given, just so they know that, number one, doing things at the last minute is a recipe for disaster, but do let them have an opportunity to do something last minute so they can feel the horror and the stress of trying to get stuff done or study the night before. Yeah, they need that memory in them to pull upon when they get older. But in the meantime, you say, hey, okay, so we got a quiz coming up. All right, you need to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday leading up to the quiz. This is what you need to do this day and that. How, you know, look at what they're doing for what the quiz is about. Say if the quiz is on functions. All right, well, we're gonna look at adding functions, subtracting functions, whatever, like each day, whatever they need to prepare for, and just show them each day at this time. And it's great if you have a time associated with their study. Okay, now I'm a hypocrite on that. I'm not even following my own advice, but this is what I'm going to do in the future. Scouts honor. Wait, that's crisscross. Scouts honor. my child was so successful, my oldest one, because he had a lot of classes. I was like, look, because he was doing a lot of math competitions and he had to have a structured time. And it was 2 o'clock, come rain or shine, he was practicing or studying for his competition. And it just became routine. So establishing, if possible, a time for them to do their studies, to review whatever work they're working on, however small, just get them in the habit so they can just build success on that. Okay. All right. Now this one is, let me add this. I should have made these banners earlier, but I just thought about it. It is, let them, we want them to be independent, right? That means mom, dad, y'all gotta let them go. You gotta let them go. Oops, wrong one. Let them choose, okay? If you still picking out your kids' clothes, come on, let them choose. Let them start, identifying and establishing their own identity and their personalities. And that goes from not just their clothes and food and friends, it goes to their classes. I always refer to OutSchool because it has such a bevy of so many different kinds of classes. Say, hey, get on OutSchool, make them a sandwich, some water, go on OutSchool and just browse like the popular classes and see what's interesting to you. My son right now is in a Dungeons and Dragons class. He's been in forever. My other kids, they've done business entrepreneurship. There's a drawing class on there that has I think 1,000 reviews. Let them just go through there and see what they might be interested in. This is also mining information to see, oh, you seem to like drawing. Didn't know that. Next thing you know, he's going off to Juilliard. Do writers go to Juilliard? I think it's just performing arts. But anyway, he's going to the best school for drawing, maybe some school in Chicago. But you wouldn't know that because you were trying to micromanage their classes. So definitely for enrichment. But if you can get in some of those life skills classes, see what they're interested in and let them choose. Also, the curriculum. If your child's not liking it, he's rolling his eyes. Sometimes we kind of get stuck in elementary and we can't just let go and we want to just do what we've always done. Let them choose. You have a couple of different curriculum, or maybe you go online and browse, the curriculum and say, oh, what do you think about this? They might want something that's text heavy. They might want something that's more colorful. They might want something that's not in a book. You remember, you're wanting to learn their personalities and everything, okay? What they like, what they don't like. Let them start taking ownership of their schooling, okay? They'll probably do a lot better job, because they're making decisions, okay? Not all the decisions, but just some of those decisions. And you're also wanting them to make those mistakes. So they think they want that, and then they take the class or they pick out something and they don't like it. They got to finish it, but then they know, oh, I didn't like that teacher, or that's not really my thing now. But just expose them so they can get those experiences out the way. And then, they have something to draw upon to make different decisions in the future. All right. So check, is everybody good? Take a swig or a bite from your hall pass. And if you're watching the replay, please leave some comments down below if there's anything that you want to see or discuss or talk about. My son was struggling with multiplication facts. The regular drills wore on him. I went online and found a couple of free games. We are doing much better. See, shout out to you, Malibu, for making changes, okay? It's one thing when you're struggling with something to kind of keep struggling just to see if your child can get through that. Okay, we call that, it's persevering. That's big in the math community, persevering through the struggle. And then you have to realize when there is no light at the end of the tunnel and you got to jump ship. So salute to you for finding something for him and letting him see that when something's not working, whether it's a relationship, a job, of friendship and you tried, deuces. Okay, deuces. Let's see. The transcript, please. Muno, you talking to somebody? I have a high schooler, and you are right. I just keep just the minimum. Okay. Oh, you mean for the transcript? I might have missed something. But yeah, so, and we'll get back to the transcripts. That's a big one. And I know a lot of people are going to want to talk about that. But let's get into the don'ts of middle school, okay? Okay. My biggest one, we want them to be independent. Lord, we want them to be independent, right? That don't mean leave them on an iceberg in the middle of the Antarctic, okay? You don't just throw them the book and then take off that way. You got to model what you expect from them. Remember, we talked about, number one, the maturity. We want a higher level of output from them, work-wise, okay? So sit down with them and show them, okay, this is what I'm expecting, and try to meet me somewhere in the middle, okay? And I'm just going to let you know, I might ask you to do it a different way. Don't say do it again. That's like a trigger word with kids. Do it again. What? Oh, man. And the drama. You just say, I might ask you to do it a different way because you're really creative. Jedi mind trick them, okay? So we want them to be independent, but we don't want to just throw them out to the wolves, okay? So model what that independence looks like. And it's just like getting kids to eat veggies. You got to, I think they say the 76th time is when they'll finally eat that head of broccoli. It might be the 86th time that they're like, oh, okay, I got it. But you won't know that yet. So give them some independence, but with boundaries, okay? With boundaries, so they're just not out in the open, in the middle of the open sea, not really knowing what to do, and then they get frustrated. So we want to give them the Rock of Gibraltar, right? But you're over here across in Morocco, and then the Rock of Gibraltar is there. So you guys, you can help them, you can see them, you can get to them, but they got to do it on their own, okay? So don't rush them, okay? Unless they're in 8th grade and they've kind of just been dragging their feet and you know in your heart that you could have been pushing them, but you didn't. Don't worry about that. But don't rush them either. Number one, if you have a 6th and 7th grader, they're still fresh out of elementary school. So you're going to have to give them a lot of time to their whole neurological makeup is rewiring with the hormones and the puberty and all of that. Number one, middle schoolers starting there and up, they need more sleep. Sleep is really, really critical. You should read Ariana Huffington's book on sleep. There's so many studies on there that talks about the power and the benefits of sleep, especially for your tweens and up, because so many changes are going on in their body. They need that sleep so those changes can take place. If you're cutting that sleep short because, you got to get up at 6:30 to go here or be there, your body's not getting that time to, make the changes and all of that. So you got cranky, hostile alien teens. Let them get some sleep. They sleep in a lot for a reason, okay? So don't rush them. Don't rush the process. Remember, we're chunking a little bit at a time. Now, if you have an 8th grader, you got this summer. You don't have to throw the whole book at them. Just still do a little bit at a time because 9th graders are stupid. I mean, not like academically. I mean, they don't know nothing. Everybody is a babbling baby in 9th grade. So you don't have to rush it. Just start where you are right now. And if there are some weaknesses you need to work on those. If there are some maturity issues you need to work on those. Because Lord knows, I didn't see a lot of 12th graders that look like babbling 3rd graders, right? No kind of maturity, can't do nothing, don't want to do nothing. So you got time. So don't worry about that. Just don't rush, okay? Just slow. Like if you're a gardener, if you rush and pull that weed, you're going to snap the weed and then the base of the weed is still in the ground with the root system. And the next thing you know, next week, here come a new weed. Okay, so just a little bit, All right, almost done, guys. Okay, I want to sing that song. Don't stop, but I'll probably get a copyright strike. Don't stop. If you do this, don't stop reading with your kids. Listen, I told y'all, if y'all saw my March update, my kids were all reading The Lemonade War. Now, the oldest two read it. They did a novel unit guide. The youngest one hadn't read it. So, but when my oldest two read it, we weren't really into business. But now that the boys have become full-fledged entrepreneurs, they actually have a business and they have that mindset. I was like, well, heck, y'all need to read that book again, because it's a really good business book, based around two, siblings. So we all read The Lemonade War and out loud, and we got through it in like 3 days, 4 days. But and that's kind of like a little childish book, but my kids didn't care because they had a little bit more insight. They started making a little commentary while we're reading. It's like Mystery 3000 for all my old head people out there. But don't stop to read aloud. We read a lot of classics that are timeless, so it's perfect for read aloud. So it's not too babyish, and it's not super above my youngest child's head. But because he's the youngest and he's been around older kids his whole life, his maturity level is more than an average 10-year-old because he's been around older kids his entire life. So, if you do read aloud, if you don't, you should. And let me show you why. Oh, my face is crazy and sweaty. Here. All right. Jim Trelease, the Read Aloud Handbook, includes a giant treasury of great read alouds. Okay. It's a lost art. I'm not going to read the back. It's a million copy bestseller. Over 1 million copies sold. Y'all get this book and read while you should do read alouds. There are so many benefits involved with reading aloud, especially if you're reading classic books or quality books that model great writing, storytelling, just concepts. Just read. I mean, that will help your child. Let me tell you, I got a near perfect score on my SATs on the verbal, not the math. I missed 2 questions. My parents didn't have me in no kind of training, tutoring, classes, nothing. All I read were books that my mom kept. My mom bought books, but she didn't read them. So she kept a whole bunch of books. She had biographies of every war general and dictator. She was in that kind of stuff. But I mean, I just read books above my grade level, and then I had my parents stolen books from the government because they worked for the government. They had the dictionary, the Webster dictionary, and then the thesaurus. So I was reading these books because I had nothing else to do during summers, and I would just have the dictionary and read, look at the dictionary, read, and my vocabulary was through the roof. But I had been doing that really since elementary school, because that's when kids don't really do camps, or they just don't really, parents don't care. They just kind of hang around the house. So my mom didn't play that. She didn't let me go over people's houses because she was like, I don't trust their mama or whatever. So anyway, so don't sleep on a read alouds. That's paramount. Okay, almost done, guys. Now this one I just thought of like 2 weeks ago. My son goes to a class and his best friend goes with him. And they've been best friends for like 3 or 4 years. And I noticed when the best friend walks him to the car that they hug, like they really hug. And where they are is at a park. There's a lot of men there playing basketball or working out. So there's a lot of testosterone. And so I was sitting back and I just happened to look up and they were kind of like hugging. And I was like, oh, that's not cool anymore. That's like and I had to stop myself because I was like, guys, stop, you're gonna have a play date soon. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta stop saying play date. He's in 6th grade. They don't do play dates. I'm like, oh, okay, hang out. And then I told my son when he got in the car, I was like, hey, when you and so-and-so, when y'all see each other and when y'all leave, just dab, fist bump or chest bump or boom, elbow bump, but no more embracing, so it's, not that, I know in Europe it's a different thing, but not that there's a stigma to it, but you want to start getting your children into an older frame of mind. So the language is going to change. If a child comes over to your house, they're not having a play date, they're just hanging out. So we have to adjust our mindset and not see the baby in front of us. It's a young lady, it's a young man, and just make that adjustment. Now on that point, friends, okay, now I'm talking about the things that can lead to anxiety, depression, and things like that for the middle schoolers. You have to vet. Y'all listen to me. Take a sip, take a bite, do whatever you need to do. Trish, what's up, girl? I need to have you come on the show, y'all. This lady right here, she is an amazing homeschooler, and she keeps it all together on point with her face, her makeup, her hair, everything. So it is so good to see you, my dear. And Samantha. Okay, I'm missing a lot of these comments. Hey, girl, I'm going to have to watch the replay. I just noticed you were on. No worries, girl. And you got a new picture. I like your new thumbnail. Okay. Yes, we love Eliminate Wars. Read aloud time starts great discussions. Exactly. But let me tell you this. See, in the homeschool world, we're kind of cocooned from this stuff, but in public school, it runs rampant. And my sister had to put me on game for this. When you have a friend come over to visit your child, especially if they have a smartphone, okay, you got to vet them out, the parents and the child, because my sister was putting me on game. Your child might have some underwear out, a bra, some stuff that they don't want people to see, or maybe your house is a mess because you homeschool, you're home all day. People who work outside the home, they're gone all day. So they don't have all that foot traffic and dishes and just people in the house using stuff and making a mess. So you might not have everything up to par for when guests come over. And here comes that little boy, that little girl that's supposedly a friend, and they got their phone out and they taking the video or pictures. Look how they live. Look at their kitchen, or look at that bathroom. Look at that toilet, or look at her panties, maybe. And girls are the worst with that mean girl stuff. Your daughter might go to the bathroom or go downstairs to get snacks or something, and then the friend goes through their drawers, goes through the dirty clothes. They do this, and they snap pictures. Maybe your daughter was on her cycle or something like that. So we wouldn't even think about. Next thing you know, it's viral and it's circulating around, that network or that school. So for that middle school years, when more kids have phones, you have to vet who is in your house. Now, this is what you can do. As my sister has schooled me. When friends come over, y'all don't go to the bath. Y'all don't go to the bedrooms. Y'all don't go upstairs. If you have it upstairs. If you have a guest bathroom, good. That's where they go, and you let them know. All right, darling, there's a bathroom right here, and then here's where you guys gonna hang out. Upstairs is off limits, or bedrooms are closed. Okay, just say it's closed. It's closed. Closed means we don't open the door. Okay, we don't open the door, and we'll leave it at that, and you'll automatically know if that child is worthy of coming back if they open the door and try to go in somewhere. Okay. Oh, I forgot. No. Okay. So watch. Clean your house, but we have times where we just got too much going on, and then someone calls, oh, can so-and-so come over really quickly? Or, quickly they call. And then you're like, yeah. And maybe this was a friend for like years, and now they're in middle school and things are kind of different. Maybe they have newer friends from somewhere, friends you don't really know, and they are kind of impacting your child's friend. And your child's friend is acting different now. You just don't know. So just be mindful of the kids that come in, and you tell them you ain't got to be their friend. You be like, I'm the mama, and nicely, but this area is for y'all. Do whatever you want. If you want them in your refrigerator, fine. If not, just say, hey, if you need anything, you put everything down for them to get, and then you let your daughter or son know, hey, if they still want some water or whatever, you go get it until you get to know them better. But apparently, a lot of this goes on a lot, and you just have to be mindful of people who gather evidence and hold on to it to use at a later date, okay? In case all of a sudden your daughter's getting more shine on the cheerleading squad or in her group. Maybe she got a different haircut and she looks gorgeous, or maybe her braces came off in middle school, getting ready for high school. You know, her braces came off and she got contacts and she's dropped dead. And her girlfriend who used to be cool with her is like, oh my gosh, she's getting more attention. I'm so glad I took those pictures of her panties in the dirty clothes hamper. I'm going to put this out. You know, and she's been holding on to that picture for like a year. Like Monica Lewinsky was holding on to that skirt. All my old hits. So be careful with that. And then my last tip, please do field trips. Don't stop doing field trips. Middle schoolers and up, they get the short shrift with summer camps and, you know, just outings. A lot of things are geared toward elementary kids. Please take your kids out, even if you're going to the same places. They're older now. They can ask more challenging questions. Remember, this is the logic stage. If you're a classical homeschooler, the grammar stage is elementary, middle school stage is logic, the high school stage is rhetoric. That's a whole nother video. We can talk about the mind, the developmental process, why there are different stages. Ask them, logic stage questions, okay? But definitely, they've been to that same natural history museum 50 million times. Keep taking them as a middle schooler and up what you're looking at and your interpretations of things or additional information you can add to what they're doing. So don't skimp on the field trips. Kids in middle school and high school, they need more supervision. They need more things, okay? It's not just for elementary. These kids they're just a fountain. So we want to give them all those opportunities that, you know, starts to kind of fade away when they're in middle school and high school. And then my two last things is collaborate with your kids. That goes back to letting them choose, you know, things that they might be interested in, but collaborate with them, okay? If you let them know it's just not mom telling you what to do, it's almost like a partnership for some things. And you let me know how you feel about something, what you want to try, what you don't like, and then, you know, we'll go back and forth and figure out, you know, how to get to where we need to go. But definitely start looking at your kids as still kids, but also young adults. I mean, even the books say YA, young adults. So start looking at them like that. And then, you know, you start enjoying your kids. The conversations get a little bit more sophisticated and, you know, more nuanced. And that's a nice feeling. And then my last tip, finances. Don't sleep on that. This is actually part of the maturity part. Get your child a wallet, if you can, a checking account or a savings account, and talk to them about money. Maybe even get them a secured card if they're in 8th grade, getting ready to go to 9th grade. That's one thing that I'm doing. Start teaching them financial literacy and healthy financial behaviors. So you can start with a wallet with some money. If you don't give them an allowance, I would recommend finding something they can do. I have a work for hire system in my house. There are things they can do. Look, right here. Hold on, let's see. Okay. My son, oh, well, y'all kind of know my son's name. This is his timesheet, his weekly timesheet, because he's been doing some transcription stuff for me for my business. So pay him. Have him do something, and however much, just pay them and let them get used to practice what they do with money when they get it. How much are they saving? How much are they putting aside to buy something? Do they have a goal to buy something? Hey, they might want to have a car when they're 16. If they start in 6th grade at age 11 or 12, little bites, they can start saving toward those goals. So definitely the finance part, start teaching them healthy habits where their money is concerned. I'm definitely going to have a video on that, and I'll show you what's worked for us and what has not worked for us, but definitely being consistent with that, because that's crucial, because money can mess you up. So if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm going to get out of here. We've been on only an hour and 5 seconds. Oh my goodness. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to get out of here. I would like to know what you guys are doing in your home. Like, are you still doing morning baskets with your middle schooler? If you do, I'll be real curious to see what that looks like, if you adjusted things for that. I'm trying to think of things that we've done as with elementary children, and if you carry that into the middle school stage, you know, it's just it's kind of bittersweet, because you start seeing how fast the years are going, and the next thing you know, you have a high schooler and then, you know, a graduate. So if there are no more comments or questions, I'm so happy you guys are here. Definitely leave questions down in the comment box below. We're going to I'm going to talk about high school in May and prepping for high school. I've actually been prepping I've been prepping for 3 years. So I'm going to show you my journey and some things that have worked for me and what I've learned along the way. But I would definitely love for us to be a cohort, and we go through the high school years together, sharing our successes and our failures and all of that. So that's upcoming down the line. But I'm going to get out of here if there are no more questions, which is Samantha says, I do morning basket that includes our nature studies, Bible, poetry, and art. Now, for morning baskets, those topics, Samantha, those are ageless topics. You can do that for, you know, preschool to 12th grade and up. So those are good topics to have, because those are the topics or the subjects that kind of get, you know, neglected. Definitely the arts, those things get neglected, and they bring so much value to your children's learning. So I think that's wonderful. I kind of dropped I haven't done morning baskets in a long time. We switched it to like a game basket, and we haven't done anything in like 2 or 3 weeks. So, you know, it's that time of year. You're just tired, and you just, you know, we're sleeping in. It is what it is, but we're almost done. We're almost done. So if there are no more questions, if you are watching the replay, thank you so much. Please leave your comments down below. As always, I have my free homeschool checklist. I think I have the curriculum planner down there, but I'll probably, you know, I like to give you guys free stuff. What can I give you that's free? Oh, I could, when I do my live in May for 9th grade, I could make your 4-year homeschool plan. I mean, 4-year high school plan, what to kind of look for each grade level, and then like the summer before. And so that way you guys have the summer to start, especially if you have an 8th grader, you have the summer to start picking up those eggs, those acorns, and, you know, just putting them in the basket, and then you can look at it later. But I do want you guys to start thinking about that. Let's see. Samantha says, my oldest is starting 7th grade in the fall. Mine too. But, well, not my oldest. But he still enjoys morning baskets. We use it as a way to keep him connected to his younger siblings. Oh, that, you know what? I hadn't even thought about that. That's wonderful. And listen, that's a good topic, especially if your kids are like kind of widely spaced apart. How do you keep that connection with them? And what, my kids will kill me. I'll tell you a little bit, but my kids have this battle game that's been going on for like 4 years, and it's so complicated. Oh my God. My oldest son, he's made a guide sheet to it. I kid you not, it is 30 pages long. It's characters, what their powers are, their weapons, best field positions in the house, best materials. He would never let me show it. But that binds them together. Now, if somebody from the school down the street came into the house and saw them, what they were doing, they would probably laugh them out the house. But it's so much problem solving involved and readjustments. Oh, that didn't work. We got to do it this way. And it's amazing. So I love that. It's amazing that my 14-year-old is like in cahoots with my 10-year-old. I love that. And then my 12-year-old is in cahoots with my 14-year-old, and then vice versa. So I love that. So I love that you found a way for your siblings to become or stay connected. And as our children get older and we get older, that's what we really want, is for our siblings to be that family unit as they get older, right? And so they can support each other, because we're going to die one day. We want our kids to be in healthy relationships with each other. So I think that's wonderful. Anybody else have any ideas they want to share? Y'all acting all shy. Why y'all acting shy? Y'all usually have like 100 comments and all kinds of stuff. I tell you what, somebody needs to come on this live with me, because I'm tired of talking. I want to sip and listen before I dip. Who's this? Do you have a tutorial for transcripts? Oh, I haven't made a tutorial. I mean, I could show you, like right now, I do a description-based tutorial only because my son started his high school years in 6th grade. So I'm not doing a chronological one, but I did teach myself, I want to say in December, sometime last year, how to write great descriptions for classes and that are not like NCAA approved or in California AG approved classes. So I did that, and with the help from, I'm on this high school forum, and I paid this consultant because I didn't want to do things after. Better to have the tools now, and then I can apply things the correct way, than 3 years in and I'm like, oh man, I need to kind of rewrite these descriptions for these classes. High school is already going to be more stuff added and more things for you to do. So I was like, you know what? She is a counselor. She's written all kinds of, she's a high school and college counselor and consultant. She's rock star. And she was a college counselor for a period of time, or a guidance counselor in high school, and then a college counselor. And so she knows something on the college level, but she knows how to write transcripts. So that was, I paid a lot, but it was worth just seeing, because I needed from the source. I needed to see what the colleges get, what they say yes, and what they say okay. So it was worth the peace of mind, because I was getting so much conflicting information. So I was like, let me just see someone who is in it and is still active doing it. Let me see what her experience is and what she recommends, and then I can always chuck it or whatever. But she's well connected, at least in California. She's well connected in the UC system, the University of California system, and then the Cal State, the CSU system. So anyway, so yeah, that'll probably be something in the summer that I do, because you guys just have so much going on, and the summertime we can kind of be laid back and just take our time with it, with transcripts and stuff like that. But unless your child is already in high school and has been in high school, like, don't worry about it right now. Just do some quick Googles on homeschool transcripts and things like that, especially look in your state. And if you already know certain colleges, that if your child wants to go to college, if you have an idea of certain colleges, like maybe, my child's going in-state. I don't know what school, but my child's staying in-state. So you can look at some of the schools and start doing a little bit of research, a little bit at a time. Take the colleges in the northern part of your state 1 month, then the colleges on the eastern part of your state Well, east on your side. And then next month, look at the colleges in the south, or look at all the public schools, do the top public schools one at a time, or the private schools, you know? So just break it down with all the schools in your state. If that's, you know, something you're thinking of, or there are certain Division I schools. So that's something where we can just sit down and you can just kind of decide how you want to lead with what colleges you want to look at. And then, you know, you just go from there. All right. Okay. I knew I wasn't going to get out of here soon. It's because I wasn't here earlier. Okay, that's okay. I got a 6-year-old. I have no comments, just making notes. Jamila, listen. I was doing high school planning in elementary school because I was like, oh my God, because Miss Gray, Miss DeLay, my guidance counselor, she turned on me and she withheld some information. And by the grace of God, one of my girlfriends, whose older sister had her, said, tell me to watch out because Miss DeLay does this, and that. And I was like, I would have missed out on a number of scholarships, which I got. I got a full tuition scholarship to my school. Because sometimes those counselors, they play games and favorites. That's a whole nother dirty world right there. But that affected me so much because I was like, in my mind, my whole life would have changed drastically. And so I've always been an information gatherer, mainly because I know information will probably change over time. And I need time to digest it. And once I get the information beforehand, when webinars come up or conferences, my questions are super nuanced for that speaker. I don't ask general questions that I can just Google that most people do. I come in because I've been researching for years. So now I know the nitty-gritty questions that they charge you for. But I'm like, I got you in this public forum. I'm going to ask right now for free. And then they always say, oh, they give a little surface answer, but you know what? Yeah, that's a paid kind of question. You can book a consultation with me. They're reluctant to do that. A lot of times they'll just tell you because they know all the other people, it will go over their head. So I've always been that little information gatherer. And that's what I want you guys to do. Just get a little bit at a time, and then you become the expert. And then look, you flip it and you consult people in charge if you want to. If you send your child to college, make some money to help send them to college. Okay, there's no reason you can't do what I'm doing. You just gather the information, synthesize it, keep track of the trends and the changes, and then and then share it. Okay. Let's see. The biggest thing, in my opinion, is to teach kids to be self-learners. Oh, amen. I know a lot of kids failing public school this year because they can't study on their own without a teacher forcing it. This is why this is essential. However you do it. Look, I take notes in Cornell notes. Can y'all see that? Okay, Cornell notes. Now, Cornell is not the only note-taking system, but my kid's been using books like this for about 2 years. So you do little bites of it, little bits. Now, my middle one, he don't really understand where all of this goes, but he'll just put everything here, and he'll just do questions over here. But that's okay, because he's slowly getting it. He's slowly getting it. The main thing my goal was him just to be familiar with this, okay? And then next year, we'll try a different note-taking system. A lot of people don't like Cornell notes, okay? I'm not sure. Sometimes you can't make a decision until you've had the opposite, meaning you don't know something is good until you've seen the bad, right? You don't know if somebody is good to you until you've been with somebody who's bad to you, right? So sometimes you have to see the opposite to know what you have, or something different to know what you have. So the self-learning, schools don't teach that. It's really hard. And what you're really teaching is how to learn. Hold on. I got a book on how to learn. Where to go? Hold on. It's how to learn. We don't know how to learn. Where are my books? Hold on. I think I have them downstairs. I have a book on how to read a book by Mortimer Adler. I think Mortimer Adler. He's written a very famous book on how to read a book. And I think he has a spinoff, how how to read literature like a professor. And then they have a kid's version, which I have, because we read a lot of literature. Oh, it must be downstairs. Yeah, I put more of my little teacher kind of books downstairs. But that's a, oh, hold on. That's a good video. Hold on. That's a good video topic. How to learn teaching self-learning or something like that. I'll clean it up. But we definitely want to, heck, I even need to work on that sometimes. You know, skimming, scanning, what's the difference? When you get all this information, how do you really synthesize it? What's your learning style? Some people, you know, they don't know how they learn. And that goes, oh, here we go. That goes to learning your executive functioning skills, okay? How you learn best. As a matter of fact, I don't know if any of you guys have taken those personality tests, the Myers-Briggs, you know, all those things to kind of see what you are. I don't think it's in this one. I think they might allude to it, because when you kind of learn your style, it's easy to say at a glance, oh, I know Cornell won't work for me. It's too logic and rigid or whatever, you know? So once you know yourself a little bit better, it's easy to do self-learning, okay? Self-study, because you know, maybe you know you have to see things verbally, you have to see things visually, and you have to take notes and read it and be in a study group for stuff to click. And then another child might need to just hear the audio of it or just glance at it. I mean, just different ways, you know, they might have to, they just don't know which way works best for them. That's why they have to try lots of different ways. And in this independent learning guide, here we go. Self-advocacy, okay? If your child doesn't know, they call that metacognition, awareness of self. If your child doesn't even know that they don't know how to learn, they don't know how to ask for help. You know what it's going to sound like? This is stupid. But why do I have to do this? I'm done. I'm going back to public school. You know, you can't teach. You know, it manifests like that because they don't know how to advocate for themselves. So we give them the language and the tools. Now, are my kids perfect at this? Nope. Now, my oldest one is a little bit better. He is a little bit better because I done pounded it into his head, but not physically. So sometimes you just got to beat it into them. And then other times you do the slow boat to China, and then you just do a little bit at a time until it connects. So for those who are worried about that, that's one way to do it. How do you coordinate math and science for high school? When you say coordinate, what do you mean? You mean take math and science at the same time? Is that what you mean, Muna? Let me know. Clarify that for me. Okay. Let's see. I've been reading all those personality types. It's a great learning tool. Yes, it's a powerful tool. You can never have too much evidence or information about yourself. Then you can make wiser decisions because you have as much information as possible. You're not going into something blind. Darn it, what was the title of the executive functions book you just held up? It's okay, honey. I got you. This one. Leah Kuyper's The Zones of Regulation. Now, this is an old book. The last time I did a review on this, it was like out of print or out of stock. But they have a teens version, I believe. But there are lots of knockoffs for this one. Lots of knockoffs, but just find, this is like the granddaddy of them all. So just, and it has a CD. Mine is old. But if you, yeah, I was surprised. Like when I bought it, they had a whole bunch. But yeah, the last time I looked, it was kind of like out of print or something. So, but they do, the knockoffs look pretty decent. I've seen a lot of good reviews on them. So you can't go wrong there. Let's see. Erica Arntz That's Confessions of a Homeschooler that Samantha's talking about. So Erica has a note-taking YouTube video as well. It might be worth looking into. Yeah, so Erica, I think she has three high schoolers now. I don't know. I've been following her for like 10 years. But another YouTuber who has high schoolers is Sean, the homeschool guru. She doesn't have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. Go check out her channel and subscribe. She's a wealth of information. She's based in Texas. For all of you Texas homeschoolers, she's someone you definitely want to hook up with and follow. I think she does consultations, but that way you know she's familiar with the rules and laws in your state. But Shaun, S-H-A-U-N, she's more active on IG and Facebook. Shaun, the homeschool guru. But yeah, so go check out her YouTube channel, subscribe, get her numbers up. And she don't even know me like that. But go support that woman. But she is really active on IG. And at one point she was doing like lives every day, I think for a month or something like that. But definitely check her out. But there are a number of moms who they've covered the note-taking aspect pretty well. Like, don't listen to what I'm saying because I'm still in the middle of it. I would have to like sit down and think about how I would teach it to somebody and all that kind of stuff. I'm still, you know, just going through it with my kids. I give you the basics, but all the nuanced stuff. Well, actually, I would have my oldest one teach it because he does it. He does it all the time. Okay, let's see. I've been reading all those. Okay, so that one. Let's see. I guess because that is the way I just got my kids to be self-learners. And okay. So, okay. Oh, good, Muna. You got the book? Excellent. All right. So it's an hour and 20 minutes in. If there are no more questions, I'm going to get out of here. If there are any, I haven't put any polls up for the Friday night topics. I'll probably do that next week. I'm not sure. The only reason why I don't put out the polls is I don't always know if I'm going to go live on Fridays. Let me tell you, you see this right here with my son? He's got a new job. He's on payroll. I've been spending so much time getting their business off the ground. They're selling earbuds, not earbuds, but containers, whatever, little boxes for the earbuds and stuff. And so we went through the process of finding a vendor and, well, first thinking about a product, finding a vendor and looking at packaging and setting up a drop shipping website. So that takes time. And I just didn't want to commit to a Friday and not really be able to give my best for a Friday. So once summer hits, and, you know, I can kind of put them, I can do autopilot with their business. You know, I still have to remind them to do things, you know, and once I feel like they can kind of, they kind of got it on their own a little bit, I just have to oversee, then I'll commit to those Fridays where I'll put those topics where you can choose which one you want or choose your own. And then, yeah, summer is going to be lit. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun this summer. And I also really want to focus on the finance part of homeschooling, the things that we can really do that kids can't do in public school. And these things are really essential to the success for our children, okay? My children are professional arguers. Aren't all of our children? Oh my goodness. But hey, you know how especially if they're arguing amongst themselves and not me, I tell them, you keep arguing, you're going to have to hug it out. And they scatter like, I don't want to call my kids fleas, but they scatter like fish. They don't want to hug. They don't want to get close to each other. So, and the one thing I make them do is if they hit each other, and the other person has to go make it right. I don't tell them what to do. I tell them, go make it right. And they always know after they make it right, they got to hug. and they hate it. And I'm like, look, I'm the referee. I'm like, it's got to be 5 seconds, and y'all got to touch. Oh my God, if you see their faces, it's so cringe-worthy. It's like the face is, oh, I would love to record it one day. The face and their body language, it is so worth it. It is like their butts. Look, okay, this is the first offender, offender number 1, and I'm offender number 2, and it's like this. Booty way out here. It's like, your cheek is too close. They're like arguing over how close they are. Your arm hair is touching me. And they spend like 5 minutes talking about how close they are to each other. And I'm like, y'all could have just said, and been done. So anyway, I love doing that to them. Cuts down on the arguments because they don't want to be intimate. All right. Y'all have any more questions? I'm going to get out of here and go eat. Let's see. Danielle, you need to do a business class for homeschoolers. I would totally buy that. Would y'all would y'all want a business class? Because actually, truth be told, when I listen. Y'all know I told y'all earlier, I had a full tuition scholarship. Not a full scholarship that included room and board, but I had a full tuition scholarship just based off of my SAT scores. I went to the University of Texas. Go Horns. Now, that school, my tuition for a semester was $800. I got $1,000 a semester because back then, in the prehistoric ages, it was cheap to go to school, especially a state school. Then I went abroad, and then I had a whole bunch of stuff, and I had debt. My mother begged me, baby. I'm not even go into it. I had to work for a semester because I ran up my credit cards. It's the credit cards, and because when you went off to college back in the day, as soon as you got on campus, they had the tables with all the credit cards. And you were like, Lord, all the handbags and shoes and clothes. And back then, Express was the cool store. And just a mess. And it took me so long to pay off my credit card debt. And interest rates high as all get out. And I promised myself, when I saw some of my friends who were smart, they didn't go to the big and fancy schools. They went to junior college or like a smaller, less well-known school, but everything was cheap. Although my stuff was cheap, theirs was even cheaper. And they were buying their first homes at like 22, 23. Remember now, this is Texas because houses are cheap. But I had so much debt, just stupid consumer debt. And I was locked down because of it. And, they were buying their first home and they were just doing adult things. And I knew after I couldn't do any of that because I was all salty in my feelings, then I moved to New York. And then I didn't feel bad because nobody owned anything up there. But back then, I was like, I would never let my children be a slave to a society that wants you to be a slave to consumerism. That's why I pushed that business on my sons. I pushed entrepreneurship. I pushed the economics and learning behaviors. What's healthy financial behavior? What's destructive financial behavior? And how just doing a little bit at a time, because our babies are young. They got compound interest. They got all that on their. That is to their advantage. Even if they mess up along the way, the time that they have is so precious. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like my husband went to the top here in LA. My husband went to the top private school in LA. And when my oldest one was a little bit younger, we were talking about if we would send our son to that school. I think they start in 8th grade, maybe, but now it's 9th through 12th grade. It's a grip. And my husband was like, yeah, the connections, the networking is phenomenal and all of that. And I'm like, but the debt ain't, because even though they might give you a little bit of financial aid, just this has always been my thing with people who send their kids to private schools, like from K to 12 or 9th to 12, unless there is something specific about that school, like like maybe it's a certain kind of performing arts school, or it's some kind of special school, or there's something, just whatever. The money, okay, if you're spending $40,000 a year for a school, and that's just to get in, right? Because you know they're going to fundraise you to death and nickel and dime you for more money throughout the year. So just say $50,000. This is LA. Can you imagine if you invested that money for your kids 4 years? Your kids would be millionaires. So, and then don't have them get into crypto. Or you can take that $200,000 away from your parents who are paying for it and not have anything to show for it. And let me tell you, you got these kids around here at all these fancy private schools, and they go to junior college, or they go to a low-level little college that they could have gone to straight out of high school. So anyway, I'm off my rant, but that's why I get into the business part. I'm like, no egos. You know, people want all these labels and stuff like that, and don't have life insurance. Okay, can't buy anything because they have student loans or they have a lot of consumer debt. And I'm not perfect, but I know my kids, we straight with that. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox with that. Hit a stone, hit a nerve, because I was just like, oh my God. 2 of my friends have bought homes, and I'm worried about paying off this second credit card. I was just livid. All right. So yeah, in the future, I'll put something together, because that's important, not just for the kids, but for us, because we have to model for our children. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It is 1:31, and I've been neglecting putting clips, short clips of these long lives on my channel, so people who don't want to watch a whole hour plus long video can still get the information. So that's a project maybe for this summer. I'm just tired. All right, so hey girl, are you back? You're back, Black Queen. All right, so all right, last call. If y'all have any more questions or comments, I'm going to take the next 3 and then I'm ghost. All right, let's see. Dave Ramsey has a class for middle schoolers and high schoolers. Look, Dave Ramsey needs to get his stuff together because he just filed bankruptcy. I'm like, come on, Dave. But no, I have my kids. They just finished a free class, Cool Kids Fund. That was a financial class, but on the serious side, my oldest one is in a stock market class. He's been in for a few months. And I'm going to eventually put the younger 2 in it, but I want them to get more foundations in basic finance before I put them in a stock market class. So that's where we're going. Right now, we're also learning about NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and we're learning more about not just like altcoins, because that's the thing, Bitcoin and then altcoins, but then we're learning about more of the kind of esoteric workings, like decentralized, autonomous organizations and things like that. Really get into crypto, because my kids, they've made thousands already. It's just time. Just learning about a project, seeing that there's some backing behind that project, meaning like money or a company, something like that. And then, you know, a lot of, most of the times we bought things that were 8 cents, 9 cents, 10 cents. And you buy 100 of those, right? And then it goes up to $2, $3. That's nice money, okay? It doesn't have to be big and grand, but you got to put a little bit of time in to know what you're looking at. And then with your kids, if they start now, like I've been in crypto since 2017, and I've done pretty decent. I've lost some. That's a whole nother story. But, the kids these days, it's just a little bit. It's dollar cost averaging, just $5 a week, $10 a month, because they got time on their side, okay? And then they can they'll make their money. What's up? What you need, baby? Come here. You ready for me to get off?
Yeah.
What we gonna eat? What we gonna watch tonight? We gonna finish up with Eddie Murphy. We're gonna do a war movie. You want to watch Apocalypse Now or Platoon? I'm a bad mom, y'all. We watched Full Metal Jacket, and I know.
Oh yeah, I also have a thing for tanks, especially the ones in World War One, because I have a lot more interest because it's underrated.
Tanks are underrated.
No, World War One.
World War One's underrated. Yeah.
I remember a public's saying is
No,
it's not really talked a lot. Just World War II, because that's when the
that's the prime war. It gets all the glory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But World War One had its advantages and had its shine in its own way.
And astonishing events for example, new explosive, new weapon, new vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, World War One is when.
I don't know if y'all can hear him.
Oh.
No, you're fine, baby. I was just asking if they could hear you.
This one was the birth of creations for war.
A different kind of war?
Well, it is called World War, so it's the birth of so many military creations.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the stage of war changed after that first war. Yeah, a lot of things changed. Okay, so go ask your brothers, tell them to pick their top 2 or 3 movies, and then ask Dad if he's taking care of dinner. All right, thank you. There's a puddle of unknown steak meat. What? A pile of steak.
Big, fleshy, juicy.
Okay, well, tell them to give me my veggie options. All right, I'll be out in a little bit. All right, comments. Crown Financial Ministries, Larry Burkett. I got Larry Burkett. Hold on, where Larry Burkett, I want to say he did Money Matters. Oh, I got so much stuff, but not sure. Does he have a class? I do have the book. That's a Christian financial book, I believe. So there's a lot of options out there for you guys. A lot of options. Go ahead and put a list together of these financial courses you are involved in and let me know where to get them. Well, here's one thing you can do. There are 2 YouTubers that I follow who kill it. 3. Y'all probably know the Budgetnista. That's Tiffany Alicia, a beautiful Nigerian sister. She just came out with, I got it right here. Her book came out this week. Get Good with Money. What's this? Oh, my notes, because I'm establishing my business credit. I'm trying to get more business credit. Anyway, Tiffany Alicia, Get Good with Money. And then on YouTube, 4 brothers. The first one is a group, two guys, Troy Millings and Rashid Bilal. It's called Earn Your Leisure. They do Market Mondays, and they are phenomenal. Tiffany is a frequent guest on their YouTube channel, their podcast. She's a frequent guest. And Mark Cuban was on talking about crypto. They just had Grant Cardone on a couple of days ago. So they have heavy hitters on there. But these 2 men, one of them started off as a teacher or a counselor or a camp counselor. And I forgot what the other one did. Just 2 brothers in Brooklyn working out of their basement. And they've had so much success. They have really been instrumental with helping me on my financial journey. They cover everything, all areas of finance. And they have a number of courses that you can take. So go to Earn Your Leisure, and you can check out what they have there. Also, Wall Street Trapper. He's so funny. He's got a heavy Louisiana accent. Wall Street Trapper. Same name on IG and YouTube. And for Earn Your Leisure, they have the same thing. Same name, YouTube channel, and IG. They have what's called Earn Your Leisure University, EYL. And then Wall Street Trapper has Trappers Anonymous. Both those, all 3 of those brothers, oh my gosh, they'll make you laugh. They break it down, and they'll keep explaining something over and over and over again. So if anything, that's the biggest jewel I'm dropping tonight. Those 2 channels I told you about, have been really instrumental in getting my, not just my financial IQ up, but my business side up. It's really helped a lot. Let me know if you guys have heard of Earn Your Leisure or Wall Street Trapper or Tiffany. Tiffany has an amazing Facebook group. So much amazing advice. I know I really want to join, but I belong to Earn Your Leisure, Wall Street, and Erin on Demand. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She's got a big YouTube channel. She helps, people become entrepreneurs and scale their business. So I belong to 3 groups. So I'm paying, actually I belong to 4 because I do Keenan Grace for the stock market. And no, it's 4. I'm gonna have to cut one of those out. I do Common Sense Eli for crypto only. He just focuses on crypto. So I'm glad I'm talking to y'all. I got too many subscriptions, but they're all good. That's why I don't be having time to film a lot of videos, because I'm busy consuming content, and I want to read this book. I want to get it done by next week, or no, that ain't gonna happen because I'm listening to an audiobook right now. So whenever, I don't know, whenever I get to it. My family roots are in Louisiana. Girl, you a Louisiana girl? Look, if you got roots, don't be putting no roots on nobody. And let me know if you can make a good etouffee. Okay, I just subscribed to them. Oh, good, Black Queen. You're going to enjoy them. They have a lot of heavy hitters on there, and they're for the culture. They're really about, because the wealth gap between Black folks and everybody else is really, really wide, and that's by design. And they are all about leveraging what you have to move yourself up. So you're really gonna like them. Tiffany's is free, and a lot of the advice is about building your kids' credit score. Wait, she's got a free one? Let me write that down. Hold up. I know she got something I gotta pay for. I dropped my pen, y'all. Hold on, that's important. Where'd my pen go? All right, well, oh, Lord. I just had my pen. Hold on. All right, so we're gonna do Tiffany. We're gonna check that out. And then, uh-oh. Earthquake. No, I'm kidding. All right, so Tiffany's class is free. All right. So that's my jewel of the night. Okay, I need to go back and look at her stuff. Sometimes it's not writing. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed. I have so much information, and you don't want to just present so much stuff. You get paralysis analysis. Tiffany's class. Okay, is that for kids? All right, I'm gonna check that out. That's huge. Thank you, Danielle. Gumbo is your specialty, girl. Gumbo be smelling good. And I don't even eat half the stuff in gumbo. It just smells so good. Oh, hey, Janice. It's good to see you here. Welcome. All right, so it looks like those are all the comments. I hope you guys got some jewels out of that. If you think of anything else, leave them in the comment. I will respond to it. You guys gave me a lot of video ideas for the future. I'm definitely going to consider the business class, the transcripts class, and something else y'all said. So anyway, have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. Oh, here y'all go with these comments. I'm going to read them. All right. Thank you, Nikki, for being open and sharing. Oh, you're welcome, Malibu. And dream catchers, live richer with the Budgetnista. Oh, cool. So guys, Danielle just gave you guys some game. So get on that, okay? Just think, with our kids going to middle school or already in middle school, if we just make one little change now for them, that can impact the rest of their life. I wish my parents had done something like this for me. If anything, just like say, hey, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice, come rain or shine. I'm going to invest $10 a month, a week, or something. Or I'm going to show you how to really budget. Those are life skills, because I didn't know how to budget until I got married. I didn't really know how to budget. And I mean, when I think of all the money, how much more money I could have had if I did a budget, because I would have looked at my spending habits and been flabbergasted at what I was buying. So just having that awareness of your habits and stuff like that. So yeah, so anyway, we're already doing a lot for our kids. They're not going to appreciate it, but they will. So I'm going to get out of here. It's a group on a class, but you can ask questions. Okay. Well, I'm going to be all over Tiffany's thing this weekend, that's for sure. It would have been homeschool. I would have been a star. Oh, if I would have been homeschool, I would have been a star. You're a star now. That's y'all. That's our resident scientist, Miss Jamila. She's our resident scientist. So, girl, you are already ahead of the pack. All right, guys. Take your hall passes. Get out of here. I don't know or care where you go, but just be safe and blessed. And I will see you guys next week. Peace out. Oh, speaking of business, my niece. Check her out, Kay's Creations. The link is down below in my description box. She makes custom mugs, and she has a really fast turnaround time. This is one of my businesses, y'all. I got so many. I'm coming. Look, I hear the feet. Yes. Yes. Oh, look at this. I have dinner brought to me. Oh, this looks yummy. Look, guys, I'm about to brag. Look at this. My husband just brought it to me. Oh, Jack said there was like a pile of steak downstairs.
Tri-tip.
Oh, tri-tip? Oh, what are they having? Tri-tip and what?
Mac and cheese.
Oh, okay. All right, so have they picked out their movie?
Nicholas wants to watch 1917 again.
Oh, Lord, I'm telling you, my kids are so into war. All right, that might be it. Can you take Chewy with you? I'm just wrapping up
Chewy,
here.
come on.
All right, so yeah, so that's my cue to, this is lovely. It's pasta with, it's pesto pasta, cut up asparagus, looks like some pine nuts and something else. So I'm about to enjoy that. And in honor of my favorite YouTuber, Lead Farmer 73, he's a gardener, guava, my friends. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.